Hello and welcome to the Angry American. This is the intro, the episode to begin the whole channel. This is just kind of a synopsis of what I want the channel to be and what my plans are with this particular channel and where I plan on taking it. So if you've come to this and it's years in the future, provided that I actually can stick with it. No, you know what? It's not that provided. I will stick with this because here's my resolution. Here's my reasoning for coming here and starting this recording and starting all of this. I am tired of sitting on the sidelines. I am sick and tired of sitting around and watching and looking and seeing what the so-called news puts out there versus what's actually going on. Prime example of this is I live way away from my mother. She's somewhere south middle USA, and I'm somewhere on the almost all the way over near one of the coasts. So we're hours and hours and several time zones away. I mean, it's a plane ride or an entire day in a car apart. What I found out on Sunday through YouTube, not the news, not anywhere else, was these riots, not protests. That's what you're going to see here are protests. And I really have to have a qualm with that. But I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to getting sidetracked here. The purpose of this channel is because I did not realize that riots were in the city of where I live until I actually Googled it. Because, yeah, I mean, sure, I could watch the local news, and it's not like it's a big city, but still. At the time, on this past Sunday it was, so a day ago, and then even on Saturday, there was no word that these protests and riots, there's a combination of the two going on, were nationwide. They were pretty much only saying it was in a few cities. Meanwhile, it was spreading everywhere. And they just didn't seem to care to put it out there on any of the news organizations. So you could go out and you could look, but you're not getting the whole story. And that's what this channel is all about. I am angry because I'm tired of the status quo. I hear advertisements that they're the authority on news. And I don't remember which one it is. I'm not going to plug them here. I don't really care. You're not the authority, okay? Authority is what the government is. Authority is what the police are. That's authority. That's authoritative. And I know those words aren't exactly the same, but they both have the same root meaning. And if you are that, then you have, by all means, the utmost mindset of looking out for who it is that you're trying to serve. Because make no mistake about it, your job as the news organization is purely to bring me the news. I don't care what your opinions are. I don't want to hear what the news anchors have to say and what they think. Most of these people sit around in massive homes with large sums of money that are news anchors that live way beyond the means that most of the U.S., I'd dare say they probably 1%ers more likely 0.5 percenters or something. I don't really care what your opinion is. You live in a different world from what I live in. I want you to talk to me, the average Joe, the guy that's out there turning a wrench every day. And yeah, that's what I do for a living. I fix cars. I stand out there in the heat, the cold, the rain, the everything to make sure your car, your vehicle gets you where you need to be. I care about knowing what's going on and around. And I'm so dismayed that I had no idea what was going on in Texas, what was going on in, what were some of the other cities that I found out? Alabama, Atlanta, all of these cities getting hit and not really any mentions of it. You had to really search for it. I'm done with these people, and I'm going to use this channel to not only call them out, but to dig in and try to find you information for you all to see. I'm not a reporter. This is all op-ed. This is all opinion. This is one man's opinion. I'm completely against these riots, not protests, riots. I'm fine with protesters. You want to stand out there and you want to preach about the KKK. I don't support the KKK. I don't like them. I will disavow the KKK. I don't think they're a good group of people. I really don't. But that doesn't matter. We have a right here in the USA to say what we think, what we believe, and what we want, what's on our mind. That's what we have. We have a right for these things. And they should be out there protesting because that is their right. And I will by all means be standing over their whole upholding that if I can, if I am physically able in any capacity. Not saying I will agree with everyone and everything. That being said, I got off topic. That was my first rant of the channel. Again, I'm here because I'm just tired. I'm sitting over on the sidelines. I'm watching all this happen. And I don't know what I can do. I really don't know what I can do other than voice my frustration here. And maybe it mirrors it with a lot of you out there. What does that mean? That means we need change. We don't just need more voices. We need you to vote. I need every single person out there to research. Don't make up excuses, okay? Make no doubt about it. There's a reason I'm upset about what's going on with the status quo of what they feel like is news, which it's all op-ed. And that's because if Trump puts out a news conference, what do you see? You see an editorialized, and what does that mean, editorialized, for those of us who don't really dig into the whole news thing here? Basically, it means that they've taken something that was said, edited it out, and changed it to curtail it to what they think or what they believe. They're not actually reporting at that point. They're giving you what I'm doing here, which is called an op-ed. They're just giving you information and what they think and how they feel. And I see it time and time again. And the only place I've been able to actually get a lot of real information is from YouTube. Yeah, YouTube. And the funny thing is it hasn't even been from the main news media who's being propped up by YouTube for who knows what reason. Maybe they've got money in each other's pockets. And I know it's ironic that I'm saying that as I'm sitting here filming this and it's going up on YouTube. It's not the only place. I'm going to put this on Vimeo, I think is the name of it as well. I'm going to put links down below. But I'm tired of sitting on the sidelines. When it comes time to vote, I'm going to research. I'm going to ask you all to do the same thing. There goes my phone. I'm going to ask you all to do the same thing. Research. See who you're voting for. See why you're voting for that person. See what it is that they stand for. Do you believe in what they stand for? Should you vote for them? And don't go by the policy that, oh, well, if I vote for this person, they're not going to get enough votes to matter anyway. No, that's not true. That's not how our system works. If everybody thinks this way, actually voted, you would be surprised at the massive difference it's going to have when voting. Really look at your city. Really look at where you live. Look at your senators and think, do I want to keep these people here? If not, vote. That is your right. Protest. Do peacefully. Don't riot. I disavow rioting. I disavow all of that. I mean, this is what we're looking at here is a whole bunch of massive images. A lot of this is probably going to get me demonetized, but I mean, here's what we've got here on Fox and all of this stuff. The Trump's message and him standing there holding the Bible, taking the picture in front of the cathedral, behind the violence and blah, 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 blah. And then what do we have here? Here's my other point, and then we're going to get back to my main point. This is the George Floyd protest spread nationwide, right? New York Governor President, thank you, but no thank you, and that's regards to the National Guard. Now, here's the thing. I do understand with Governor Cuomo, that he does say, hey, we don't need them, and you're basically putting American military against American civilians. And yeah, he kind of is. But he's trying to do it for places that really need it. And I would agree that Governor Cuomo probably does have things under control because their police is military-like up there from what I know. I've never personally been visited or seen a lot of it, but I have heard a lot of stories. They are very militant up there with the way they're police operate. And they have a massive police department. I mean, that place is huge, so they have to have a lot of police. So it's much easier for them in New York to keep things under control. But you can't necessarily say the same thing for areas like, say, Minneapolis, where this is happening. It is a decent sized city, but I don't think their military, or not their military, their police, I don't think their police are nearly as large as what they've got in New York. So it's two totally different areas. And honestly, I think they did what they had to do. It wasn't that they wanted to do it, but they weren't calming down. The people were just continuing to riot. What else were they supposed to do? Let them go all the way until they burn everything down? No. You had to do something. I'm not necessarily saying it was the right choice, but what other choice was there? All we had was the National Guard, and he could have called on police from other areas. Sure, let's say he does that. Now they're weaker, and guess what happens? The protesters. Now I'm doing it. They're not protesters, the rioters, the people that are coming in and causing all these problems. They just move somewhere else, and they just keep going around and around. This is a bigger issue of a bigger problem that we were unaware of here in America. From what I can see, and this is just anecdotal, so take it with a grain of salt, this seems highly organized. This doesn't seem like just a small thing. I don't know if it's Antifa. I'm thinking that the president's probably got some sort of news, some sort of information that nobody else has. But it could very well be them. And on that note, I'm now approaching the, how many minutes now? A little 12-minute mark. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go into that rant because it's still fresh on my mind. Last rant. Does anybody actually know who's within Antifa or who's been standing out there protesting and holding their signs and screaming and talking about how stupid and how you're a killer just because you wear a badge? Do you have any idea what has happened in other countries in the past where we've torn down military or police or whatever? They've been torn down, not we, but another country where this has happened and we've completely burned, I keep saying we, where they, the people of their countries, have completely burned their own, what is the word I'm looking for here? It's been a long day and I am tired from fixing cars all day, sorry. Where they've took their own government down. Look nowhere further than Russia. Same thing happened there. Yeah, I get it. It's not exactly the same. I'm calling it the same. But they tore things down to try to build something better. Did they? No. You know what they should have done? Instead of tearing everything down and just remaking it, which is what a lot of people say they need to do, just vote the people out that you don't like. That's the beauty of this. You want different senators because nobody does it? Then heck, just try to put it out there and try to get a bill passed. You can do it. You can lobby. You may not have lots and lots of money, but you can go out there and make a difference. There's a gentleman I like to watch that just nothing but fix apples all day long, and that's all he does, and he is darn good at it. He's also a lobbyist, but nobody pays for it. He pays for it himself. And guess what he found out? He went somewhere, and I don't remember the exact senator, person, whoever it was that was sitting there talking. He asked him a question, and he said, "Why did you pass that bill?" And he said, "Well, nobody was here to tell me that that was wrong. I only had one person tell me this was bad. Nobody was standing up against it." Think about that. The politician was acting on the information he was given by one person because nobody else showed up. So who do you have to blame in that situation? You. I don't blame any one person. I blame both sides of this. If you're sitting out there and you're angry at the police for something, are you really angry at the police or are you really angry at one person, one bad actor? And yeah, I'm sure there's more than just one bad actor. It happens everywhere. There's more than one bad actor. I mean, I used to work for a place called Sears, and we all know what's happened to them. Lots of bad actors. The people in the higher-ups didn't seem like they cared. And guess what happened? It showed. They closed. They weren't able to do anything. Same thing, I'm sad to say, is probably going to happen to GameStop. They don't seem to care. They seem to be disconnected. All I'm asking you all out there to do is care. Care about your fellow citizens. You don't like the way things are? Go out and vote. Go out and lobby yourself. Go down to one of those hearings and say, hey, I disagree with this person, and here's why. Have a coherent argument. Don't be standing and screaming. Just talk. The only way things change in this planet, the only way that things change is by you doing something. You, the listener. If you hear this message and you've made it to the end of this video, do something. Do something more. Because while we're all sitting around screaming and hollering about what's going on here over one person and one life, and yeah, it's bad that he died. Nobody's going to disagree with that. Should not have happened. But he's not the only one. And it's not just black, it's white, it's every which way. It happens all over the place. Abuses of power happen. But we have checks and balances. The man is arrested, at least one of them. I don't know about the rest, and we don't know the full story yet. But he's been arrested, and he is charged. And I am sure he's going to go away, and he is not going to have a good time. Even if he doesn't, his life is now ruined because of all of this. So trust me, he got his justice. It's coming. It's happened. Protest, fine. Riot, don't. But I want you all to also notice something. Know something rather than notice. There are bigger problems in the world than just what we've got going here. China's amassing a massive amount of military force at their border. And people who are in power over there, who've been around to see border disputes, which has been going on for decades, have never seen it this bad. And that's exactly what I've heard. That they've never seen it this bad. So we're on the brink of something big, bigger than anything anyone has ever seen, even around World War II, potentially. I'm not going to be hyperbolic. I'm not going to be trying to sensationalize anything here. But it's the truth. India is having a terrible time right now with their borders right along China, and China just keeps ramping up. They've also taken over islands that are not theirs, that they do not own, and they have no right to put up military bases. They're going to be conducting drills this, I think, August will be, on how they can take Taiwan back. They also dropped peaceful in their talks. Think about that. They don't want peaceful reunification anymore. They just want reunification. I don't think they care how they do it. And I think they're going to try to say it's an internal matter. I just hope the U.S. military is not spread so thin and so weak that we can't keep China back. Because make no mistake about it. Think about this. There's more than, I forget the population of China. Let's just Google that right now real quick. Population of China, 1.393 billion people. Almost 1.4 billion. We have 327 million. They could send 1 billion people our way if they really wanted to. And that means that they outnumber us 3-1. I understand that we're armed to the teeth. Lots of people have guns, but when there's 6 people surrounding your house, 3 in front, 3 in back, and it's just you, who you think's going to win? It ain't going to be you with the one gun and the one guy. Maybe you get lucky. But there's not enough of those lucky ones out there to make up for it. Let's be smart. Let's find our way together. Let's stop stumbling and staggering. America's not number one. America was. One time. We used to produce more than anybody else in the world. We made the best of everything. We were great at everything. We got greedy. We're not there anymore. Let's be the best again. Let's learn to make a good product. Let's learn to make a great product after that. And then after that, let's learn to make the best products, the best stuff to send out in the world. Imagine that. The US being able to outpace China, which we could easily. Our population isn't as big as there, but we're more determined. Why don't we do that? What's wrong with that? Putting people back to work. Putting people back to work in factories, making things. Having people that care. What is wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. I want everybody to self-reflect on this. Stay calm. Things will pass. They will get better. You all stay safe out there. This is the Angry American signing out. Apologize for the bad quality on the first video. These videos aren't going to be the best quality. More like something you just kind of listen to on the way to work or something maybe. Thank you for listening. Thank you for making it to the end. Hit that subscribe and like button if you would. Share this with anybody you can. Share it everywhere. Thank you.